Nurse Josie Humble runs the sanctuary.
These monkeys are wild animals, and it's something that we always need to remember in the rehabilitation process. And what we found is if we hand raised them till 6 months old, we were kind of raising mini pets, and we do not advocate keeping primates as pets at all. We need them to live like nature intended, as themselves in a wild state.
Over the last 10 years, the centre has pioneered a new approach to rehabilitating orphaned baby vervets.
If you've been working with primates so long, you can kind of understand their behaviour a lot, and you can kind of get a feeling for what's going to work and what isn't. We want to do what's best for those orphans, and we believe that that is to get them as wild as possible, as quickly as possible, without human interference.
Now, at just 6 weeks old, babies are introduced to foster mums from existing troops before being integrated back into large, natural, semi-wild enclosures before their release. And today, 4 of this year's baby vervets are ready to be introduced to their new foster mums. At only 3 weeks old, Cupcake was left by the side of the road after her mother was killed in a hit and run, while Punim was recently found inside a leopard trap. And 5-week-old Brew, the oldest and most confident, was kept as a pet. Here in the centre's nursery, they learn to explore, become more confident, and most importantly, learn to feed themselves.
So the first thing we need to do is get these orphans on a bottle. Obviously, they're used to their mum's teats and not a bottle, so that already is a learning process for them.
Step by step, the caregivers slowly teach the babies to suckle from a bottle. Once in their large, semi-wild enclosures, these small feeding cages with 2 small holes in the front will allow the babies in and keep the adults out, protecting the orphans and their milk whenever they want to feed.
It's not an easy process. It's something that we've kind of learned ourselves over the years, but it works very well.
Now Cupcake, Punim and Brew can feed themselves. They're ready to move on to the next step of their rehabilitation. And joining them is 3-week-old Yelise.
Hey, you're a live wire today. Go on then. Okay, one more, Yelise. So, big event today for all 4. They're going to the intro cage to meet mums through the fence. This is Yelise, and her mum was shot and she fell from a tree, and she came in. She had a bit of a bump on her head, but she's doing good now.
So they've got their friends, they've got their social skills with the play, they've on a feeding cage, and now they're ready to move to the next stage and become completely hands-off from people around 6 weeks old.
It's time to meet their new foster mums. The 4 orphans are transported down to one of the sanctuary's large, natural, semi-wild forests and into the introduction enclosure. The new arrivals are already getting lots of attention. Vervets live in a matriarchal society where sisterhood is all-powerful. So the more high-ranking the foster mum, the better chance the orphans have of integrating into this 40-strong troop.
Paradise is the alpha female, and she was actually an orphan herself. So she's taken care of some babies before last year. So this is the stage they can get a little bit confused because they've been with humans and now they're meeting mums for the first time. But Poonam's gone straight up to Paradise, which is great. So yeah, they're doing great. They're doing fantastic. And the babies have actually gone in to drink, which is really good because that tells me that the babies will actually be able to go over.
As the orphans start to settle in and feel more comfortable, it's time for Josie to leave and let the foster mums in. Mark, the sanctuary's animal manager, can control who first enters the introduction enclosure. The higher ranked the female, the better, and Paradise, the alpha female, is showing a lot of interest.
Okay, so alpha female Paradise is in.
If one of the orphans accepts Paradise, it'll guarantee their position in the troop. But despite the alpha female's willingness to embrace the youngsters, the little orphans are scared and anxious. Only time will tell if they accept her as their new surrogate mother. Back at the Vervet Monkey Foundation, it's time to check up on the 4 orphans in the introduction enclosure. Over the last week, the little ones have been getting regular visits from various foster mums from the troop. slowly allowing them to get close. The alpha female Paradise has created a very special bond with Punim, while another high-ranked female, Martha, has adopted the eldest orphan, Brew. This rewilding phase of their rehabilitation not only allows the orphans to create a maternal bond with their new surrogate mothers, but it also gives them time to fear humans again and learn their place within the vervid, strict matriarchal system.
It's incredibly satisfying and rewarding just to hand that baby over to where it's supposed to be. So once we have that foster mum giving the baby the first cuddles or the first touch after the baby's been crying, and then it actually finally gets its comfort from a monkey rather than a human, is just amazing, and it's just so rewarding.
In the next few weeks, once all the orphans have bonded, the surrogate mums will take these youngsters back into the large, semi-wild enclosure to meet their new family.
That's true rehabilitation, where we can put them back into a wild state, have a proper maternal bond, and then they've got a troop family that are accepted as if it's their own.